Hello there, my Transformers. Welcome. So glad that you're here with me today. And I'm excited to explore a topic that is so big for so many. In fact, on one of my team meetings this week, we ended up having a conversation about this very topic. So we're looking at mistakes. We're looking at how to use your missteps as stepping stones. So, I've been really looking at how you can step into a more meaningful business, life, career, how you can switch gears in your career. This is what we've been looking at this month, looking at the things that typically stand in the way of you taking action. And one of the reasons that you might not go after your dreams and stay in situations a little too long that no longer suit you but are feeling comfortable is that you have a deep fear of failure. So just notice if that resonates for you. Notice if the fear of failure is something that resonates for you, because if it does, you are not alone. And the truth is that I see so many clients don't dare take even the first step toward the direction of their dreams because they're so concerned with falling flat on their face. They're concerned with looking stupid. They're concerned with the failure. They're concerned with going all the way to the direction of, it ending up in complete ruin. And listen, there's no doubt that failure can hurt, but it also offers a really incredible opportunity for deeper reflection and learning the lessons that move you closer to achieving your personal goals. So, if you can reframe mistakes or failure as an opportunity to reflect and then course correct, you can provide a sense of freedom for yourself around the fear of failure. So, again, you want to be able to create the space to reflect and then course correct. So, it's all about choice. It's all about recognizing that a specific choice and a specific action is going to send you in a direction. And if at some point you realize it isn't the direction you want to go, you get to make a different choice. So nothing's set in stone. We have so much more freedom. We're empowered with so much more freedom than we give ourselves credit for. So rather than simply brushing your failures under the rug or putting on the blinders or sticking your head in the sand, your failure, your mistakes, your missteps are really an opportunity to reflect and learn the lessons that are going to help you move forward. So that's what we're looking at here today, how to embrace your fear of failure, because here's what I've seen time and time again. Fear of failure and fear of success are actually two sides of the very same coin. So we might think we fear failing, but there's some part of us that's also fearing what happens if we actually get what we want. What happens if we actually emerge and evolve into and become who we want to be and create what we actually want in our lives? What then? So there's a big conversation here to be had. I want to just take a moment and say some quick hellos. Hey, Teresa. Hi, Marla. Hey, Carly. Hi, Trace. Hi, Amy. Hi, Lori. Hi, Holly and Leanne. Um, and Marcy and Vincy. Hey there. Hi, everybody. So, the first thing I'll say is when we're looking at how to make our missteps our stepping stones, how to look at our mistakes as a guidepost for where we want to go and use our mistakes to reflect and not hide, we really want to start looking at what are we making our mistakes mean about us. So just take a moment here. This is actually a really big question. What are you making your mistakes? What are you making your missteps mean about you? Notice how we go into all or nothing thinking. Notice how we go to the place of I'm stupid instead of I did something stupid. Notice how we go to a place of I failed or I'm a failure instead of this idea failed. Notice how we want to personalize. Notice how we want to embed the negative, because that's our opportunity to make the shift, to actually separate it out so that we can see the difference between an action or a choice versus making it mean something so personally integrated about us. Hey, Rini. Oh, I'm glad you love the necklace. This is one of my all-time favorites, and I realized that in the pandemic world, it hasn't gotten any airtime. It hasn't seen the light of day in so long, and I was happy to put it on this morning. And I love that Alaya said, "Hey, I'm back." I love that Alaya knows me and my voice. Hey, Barbara. Hi, Tamara. Hey, Sarah, Sonia. Hi there. Welcome, welcome. So, again, we're looking at how you can make your missteps your stepping stones. And it all comes from having the courage to actually examine your path. So, instead of just continuing to muscle through or forge ahead, take time to look back. Take time to reflect on what worked or what didn't work. Take time to look at what are the changes you can implement to have a different outcome. We all know that age-old definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. What if you get to make different choices as you go? What if you know that each choice you make is going to send you off in a different direction? And if you are keeping track, if you're able to track where you've been, you can see what hasn't worked as well as you would have liked, and you can see how to even tweak something to move it into the direction of something that can support you better. So, if you haven't already grabbed my latest freebie, I want you to do it right now. You can grab it at nancylevin.com/reinvent. So I'm just going to pop it right in here, nancylevin.com/reinvent. And what I've created for you is a free guide so that you can actually reinvent with intent, so that you're not just reinventing from a willy-nilly place, but you're actually having a clear-cut direction of where you want to go and what's next for you. So this Reinvent with Intent guide it gives you an assessment so you can actually go through a series of questions to find out where you are on your reinvention readiness spectrum, if you will. And then I'm also giving you a clear-cut guide on how to take the leap on whatever is next for you. So this might be around your work in the world, your career, your business, moving from corporate to something more entrepreneurial, or this might be in your personal life. This might be a blending of both. I'm not a big proponent of work-life balance. I think it's more about work-life blending or work-life integration. And the goal here is to actually have work that you really love. Create a space in the world for you to be able to serve and have impact doing something that really lights you up, because when you're coming from that place, you're so full to be able to be of service to others as well. So when you're looking back at your track record of missteps you've taken along the way, see what is here for you to learn. See the opportunity to glean something you might not have noticed before. Often when a mistake happens, or when we take a step in a direction that doesn't serve us, if we are able to open ourselves up to receptivity, we can actually get whatever you want to call it. Some people call it a download, or you get a flash, or you get, a gut feeling of inspiration. Your intuition kicks in, and you can and you can follow in another path. You can follow a different route that might be able to take you somewhere else that you hadn't been able to get if you hadn't taken the misstep. And think about that for a minute. If we come together believing that, and I firmly believe this, if we come together believing that every choice, action, step we take in our lives is culminating right here in this present moment, it just goes to show that whatever we want our future to look like is dependent upon the choices, actions, and steps we take right now in the present moment. So I often say our present moment choices are our crystal ball. Our present moment choices predict our future. The same thing happens with the steps that we're taking. And so we want to be aware. We don't want to put our head in the sand. We don't want to put on the blinders. We want to be willing to track where we've come that got us here, and what is a different choice we can make to go in a different direction to take us where we want to be. Holly, yeah, risk takes. Because it is about risk taking. It is about being willing to take a risk and knowing that by putting yourself out there, you're actually creating the alchemy for something new to occur that wasn't in your awareness before that. So there's been so much conversation about this uncertain time, this unprecedented time of uncertainty. And yes, it's absolutely true. And I quite frankly think that we've been living under this illusion that there is any such thing as certainty. So it's just that it's more pronounced and it's louder right now, this uncertainty. So here's the thing about certainty and uncertainty. We cling to this idea of certainty. We want to grasp and hold on to certainty. We want to know. And the truth of the matter is that in the unknown is where possibility and opportunity is born. In the unknown and in the uncertain is where resiliency is born, where resourcefulness is born, and where new options and opportunities present themselves to us that we couldn't have seen prior. Hi, Adriana. Mistakes are the most challenging gears for performers. Absolutely. Believe me. I was mentioning earlier that I had a conversation on one of my team meetings this week about making mistakes. And I was sharing how far I had come on my own around the mistake making. Because the truth is, back in the day, I was fully under the impression and under the belief that if I made a mistake, and if I made a mistake, especially in a public way, so for example, even what could be seemingly a tiny mistake, like sending out an email with a broken link, I would be filled with shame, and I would immediately go to the place of this mistake as a reflection on my intelligence, on my respectability, on my ability to lead, on my ability to show up with integrity. And of course, a broken link in an email has nothing to do with any of those things. But I was more concerned with what will other people think about me if this mistake is seen. So it all ties back into the way that we are living other referenced lives. It all ties back into the people pleasing or the peacekeeping or the conflict avoiding. There's a way that making a mistake lands in us as an invitation for conflict. And then, just this morning, I got a DM in my Instagram saying, "Hey, your links are not working in your profile. Can you give me the link to your assessment, to this reinvention assessment?" And I could have gone down a whole shame spiral of, oh my God, people will think I'm a moron. People will think I'm stupid. What's wrong with me? People won't have respect for me if my link is broken. And all I did was respond and say, thank you for letting me know. I'll get it fixed. And in the meantime, here's the URL. So it's really important to notice what we're making something mean about us. What are we making our mistakes mean about us that they don't actually mean? And how much of that is tied into the way that we're still hooked into what do other people think? How am I appearing to other people? What am I doing to manage the perception of others? What am I doing to project an image of perfection to the world? The more we want to present this image of perfection to the world, and the more we're trying to hold back any imperfection, I guarantee the imperfection will burst onto the scene louder and bigger than it would have had we just allowed it to be there naturally. So I shared this example yesterday in Destination Me in my private coaching community, and and I'll bring it up here too. And it's actually an example that my mentor Debbie Ford used all the time. Imagine a beach ball, and you're trying to hold the beach ball underwater. And the more you push it down, the more you try to hide your own imperfection, the more you try to hide your ability to make mistakes, because let's just face it, we're all human and humans make mistakes. And for many years, I used to say my least favorite quality about myself was my humanness. But here's the deal, we're human. The more we try to hold the beach ball underwater, the more velocity it has when it actually pops up and smacks us in the face. So it's really more about being able to roll with it as it's happening, as opposed to trying to suppress and repress and hide something from someone else. Rhonda, hi honey. Great topic here. Mistakes used to be so painful. Yes. Karen, thank you for sharing that. I have been coming out of this pattern of self-shame for my mistakes. Thank you. You're very welcome. Leanne, thanks for letting us know that it still happens to you. It takes a lot of work to change those patterns. Of course, it takes a lot of energy to shift a pattern. And the only way we're going to be able to recognize it is seeing ourselves differently in an experience. So something that in the past would have taken me out, would have sent me down a shame spiral, today, literally this morning, I felt nothing. I felt nothing except for the ability to make a simple response. Carly, it's so serendipitous that I'm currently correcting a creative project that wasn't feeling right. I realized I was stuck and hung up on it feeling wrong, but see how those missteps actually guided me to where I want to go. Such silly guilt trips. Exactly. And like I said before, you want to be able to reflect and course correct. You want to see where you've been, where it got you, and how you want to make a change. Kathy, you know people are watching when you make a mistake. Take it as a positive. Yes, it's all about, listen, everything is about the reframe. Everything is about how can I reframe this? So again, if you are not already, if you haven't already grabbed my reinvention assessment and prescription, I really encourage you to. It's at nancylevin.com/reinvent. Oops, reinvent. There we go. And you can grab that, and then you're also going to be invited to join me in a pop-up Facebook group that's only going to be there for a few months. So it's not replacing this. This is our home. But I am going to be popping into this pop-up Facebook group over the next couple months to specifically support you on changing gears in your career, in your work in the world, in your way of being, in your overall integrated life, so that you are able to reinvent with intent. So it's all about having the clarity around where you are right now and where you want to go, and intentionally putting the steps in place. Barbara, so very important that we are kind to ourselves. Amen. Sonia, my stomach churns when I'm doing a new task, so scared I'm going to make a mistake, and then I do. I will work on reframing so the anxiety recedes and I can relax and enjoy the tasks more. So here's the other thing, Sonia, about this. Look at the way that a self-fulfilling prophecy plays out. If I have all my attention and energy on, oh my God, I'm going to make a mistake, you better be damn sure I'm going to make a mistake, because that's where my attention is. That's where my energy is. If you can actually shift your attention and move in the direction of where you want to go, you're less likely to make a mistake, and therefore you're also less likely to beat yourself up. I think about this a lot in terms of mountain biking. So I used to do a lot of mountain biking. I don't so much anymore, but I used to do a lot. And all the big thing is, especially when you're going over big obstacles, rocks and sticks and all different things, you want to look where you're going. You don't want to look down at the rock, because if you look down at the rock, you're going to hit the rock, and then you're going to like over your handlebars. If you look down at the ground at the obstacle, you're going to hit the obstacle. If you look straight ahead into the clearing of the future, that is where you are headed. And that metaphor is probably one of the best I can give you around where your focus, where your focus, where your vision is, where your attention is. That's where it's like, I think there's like where your attention goes, your energy flows. I think that is, I don't think I made that up. I think someone said that. But it's true. It's like if your attention is on the obstacle, you're going to hit the obstacle. If your attention is ahead of you in a clear path for the future, that's where your energy is going to flow. All right. So again, really look at the ways that you are making your mistakes mean something about you that they don't mean. Take an opportunity to reflect and course correct, and grab this reinvention assessment and prescription, and we'll go from there. All right, loves, happy that you're here with me, and I'll be here again with you next week. Take care.